Well, David, in short, the Geneva Group is a private equity firm. We look for undervalued assets here in primarily the South Florida area, Tri-County area, commercial real estate acquisition and some development. And we basically bring the investors that may not necessarily think they can get involved in a commercial property because it's valued at millions of dollars, and we bring the investors in on the projects utilizing our expertise, our know-how, and our unconventional methods of finding those diamonds in the rough.
Well, you know, the commercial real estate market, like the residential market in South Florida, went into the tank. We've been slowly recovering. How do you find that on a recovery situation?
You know, I'll tell you, we're blessed to be in South Florida. This is typically what's considered a boom-bust area, like New York and California and areas like that. And typically when the recovery happens, it happens very quickly, and it starts to get saturated. And over the last year, you've seen a lot of the investor groups come in, and it's become much more competitive to find those deals. We typically rely...
How do you find these deals? You know, the commercial real estate market's got a little tight right now.
Sure.
How do you find these things?
Well, we're typically working with attorney networks, relationships that we've cultivated over the 12, 13 years, probate attorneys and divorce attorneys. Typically, somebody passes away, what happens? The kids start fighting over the assets.
Well, always happens.
It seems to be always the way. So those attorneys will contact us and say, look, we know what the family needs. We know what the rock bottom price for this office building that they're right now fighting over. We just need to get it out so we can get it out of the estate
so they can split the money.
So they can split it. So years of working these type of relationships, they know that we can close when we say we can close, and we can close very quickly and efficiently. So that divorce attorneys, people get divorced, same thing. They'll call us.
It's always like that. You got to sell the assets so they can split it and stop the fighting, is basically. And you guys come in. You're the white hat guys that come in.
We like to think so. Absolutely.
Well, you know, how did you get involved in all this business?
You know, my former life, I was a financial planner, and what I realized is, and I think a lot of your viewers are the same way, they're working 12, 14 hours a day in the job or the career that they know best and that they specialize in. And if it's a service business like a financial planner model is, then there's only so much money you're going to throw back into the company. So the big question is, what do you do with the rest of your money? Do you hand it to your money manager and hand the excess over to them to buy stocks, bonds, mutual funds?
Or pay taxes to the IRS.
Exactly, and that's another thing is the tax benefits with real estate. But in realizing that in my own life, we started transitioning when we saw the whole world fall apart with you know, the fourth quarter of 08. We saw unbelievable opportunities and deals in the Southeast, not even just Florida, but in areas like Atlanta and Tennessee and Charlotte. So we started purchasing those properties, those type of assets.
Who do you mean with the Geneva Group?
Well, over the last 5 years, we've assembled what I like to consider a real dream team. One of my colleagues, director of operations for the Geneva Group, has extensive construction knowledge, is actually a part of the construction of the FAU Stadium, the Office Depot building,
that's
headquarters.
That's strong.
So he has extensive ground-up knowledge, and what that allows us to do is not only look at a property and a structure, but it allows us not to be confined by some monstrosity that somebody built 30 years ago. We can look at that lot and look at what highest and best use would be, and because of him and some other people on our team, we can go vertical. We can basically go ground up with a new structure. And that's really opened up our buying box in such a competitive market like South Florida.
What do you think 2014 looks like?
You know, and I think it's somewhat of a loaded question, and you have all the self-proclaimed
I do loaded questions,
Absolutely. You have, you know, you'll have one person have an opinion, and 5 minutes later somebody else on the financial stations will have another opinion. In my opinion, as a young guy, as somebody who's really sifting and being extremely selective in the projects that we get involved in, I see a 4 to 5 year run in South Florida that is like nothing else. No other market out there. And the reason I say that is, with all the international money pouring into South Florida as a whole, even with just political turbulence on other countries' soil, but also with the weakening of the U.S. dollar, you're seeing these international buyers, international investors have tremendous buying power in an area that they know there's only so much land to build on.
Right.
And I know that's kind of a cliche in commercial real estate, but in South Florida, you just have this one corridor on the east side to build on. And with the international buyers, I see an unbelievable demand for this area for the next 4 to 5 years.
All right, listen, Jared Elmar, thanks a lot for being here, and good luck with the Geneva group. You guys are doing a terrific job.
Thank you for having me.
Keep it up.
I appreciate it.
All right.